Everybody has a song to sing. Everybody has a tale to tell. Everybody needs a little fling. Yes, you out there, you too. Everybody needs to do their thing. Humanity everywhere. It's just like that. Everybody's on fire. Everybody's got that desire. You too, you got that desire. It's just the human need, yes, the human need, to sing their song, to tell their tale. Whatever the words, whatever the tune, whatever the dream, let off that self-esteem. It's quite unique, just that human mystic. Everybody has a song to sing.
Thank you for coming to the first Beyond Academia Free Skool Poetry Variety Show. I'm curious, would anybody like to do a little warm-up here on the mic? It doesn't necessarily need to be a poem of yours, but we have these great anthologies, and maybe we can set the space, and we can invoke the energy of Jack Collom, and we can take turns picking something from these. I like the whole close your eyes and choose one method.
The first one opens, yeah. Hi there. My name's Gertrude, Melissa, Nix, Bridget. How are you folks tonight? Make yourselves comfortable. I'm gonna talk a while. I've got all kind of voices in me. I don't just blare out what's handy. I can talk any goddamn way I want, and I will. Well, I've been dead 56 years, so ain't got no body to get in the way.
Each feather was made of a million thin bourbons that wove a pavilion of aerial moves, beating nitrogen grooves, light plow to sheer shine along Cillian. Nobody knows what the brain and the dove did create or contains in a particular way of perceiving each day plus intricate pleasure and pain. But its mind and an avian elf that spun for the sake of itself blew volumes of knowledge.
No word. Poetry's toughness needs constant amending. More poems.
And we're going to screen a little film from this past year's Beyond Academia Free Skool free summer writing program and camp out up in Netherlands that many of you worked at, many of you taught at, and yeah, here we go. And the theme of camp was One Earth, our intradependent ecology. Yeah, it's funny, BAFS, we focus on poetry and what that looks like, as you saw in the video. It was walking through paths up in the mountains quietly. It was creating billboards of, if we were to envision better billboards in our world that weren't just trying to market us things that we don't need, but that were trying to offer us the messages that we do. From classes on collaboration, ecology, improv, performance, and of course poetic constructs. We spent a lot of our time up in the mountains, and during the year we spent a lot of our time down here in the library on second Sundays. We took many field trips to Denver and to Boulder to collaborate with the other regular open mics that are happening here, and it was a really great time, and I think we learned a lot. And it was created by us, not just one person, but us. And it was hosted at Love Shovel Ranch, owned by Marcus If, the founder of Beyond Academia Free Skool. I would love to welcome up our first revived dead Colorado poet. We have Virginia for Turnbulle. Let's give a warm welcome to Belle Turnbulle.
Thank you, Maggie. Oh, wow, it's a little colder up in Breckenridge, so a little warmer down here on the plains. You know, Helen and I became mountain women. We didn't know anything about chopping wood or carrying water, and we still do it. No electricity, no running water, and we love it. So, we love our time up in the mountains. You know, I left the East Coast many, many years ago, and I left Colorado Springs. I've been writing every day. I mean, I did bring a pen and a paper just in case something comes up, but I'm using a little bit lately. This is not published anywhere, but wanted to start with some thoughts. To contemplate, to search, to compare, to winnow. This is wisdom, and might I add, poetry.
Now next up, we're going to move into our present century. And this poet, I remember when I first started coming to classes for Beyond Academia Free Skool here at the library. It was a man who was sitting in that classroom with us. We're going to welcome Jim Steele. The Man of Steel, portrayed by Thomas Ivory Jr., who is joining us all the way from Fort Collins.
All right, how you guys doing out there? I'm Jim Steele. I like to get all fired up.
Woo!
Let's give it up for Maggie in the library. What a cool space, right? And Beyond Academia. And Second Sundays, man, as Jim Steele, I love Second Sundays. Go there to find my community. And I was a poet in the 20-teens. Went to probably every open mic and poetry shenanigans here in the Boulder area. I didn't start writing poetry until I was in my 70s. Tragically, I died by a hit and run in Denver not too long ago. So I'm here today to remind you of the, importance of appreciation of what you have. So I'm going to read from my book, Poetry and Verses on the Nature of Things, by Jim Two-Fisted Steele Hair. I am the man of steel. Yes, I am the man of steel. In flights of fantasy so real. I am cool. I am outrageous. I am weird. And I am craziness. Yes, I am craziness. I am Pawpaw Jim, as my grandkids proclaim. Always, always I shall be exactly who I am. Excited to be here. I just want to let you know that death could come at any moment. But I, as a poet, knew that and appreciated it. So my final poem is going to be Oh, Sweet Death. Journey here on the Mother Earth. Come to me, come, yes, come, for the beginning of whatever is ever after. As too soon thou wilt come to me. I, sweet death, I fear not me, nor you, should you not fear. Oh.
Up next, we have Marcus If, who will be presenting as one of his mentors, Greyhawk. And as my mentor, Marcus If often tells me that two of his poetic mentors are Greyhawk and Jack Collom. Jack Collom taught him to be playful with his poetry and not to limit what's on the page. And he says Greyhawk taught him to edit it before reading it to him.
No compromise.
All right, let's welcome Greyhawk.
I don't think there's anyone here who knew Gregory. Maybe Virginia might have. He was a Marine recon sniper in Vietnam. He was Huron French-Canadian. He went to Vietnam so he could get dual citizenship and play in the professional hockey leagues. And He didn't have any teeth of his own, but he had a necklace of other people's teeth. And when he got out on the ice, he'd be pointing at somebody, he'd be like, you're next. He lasted about 2 seasons before they kicked him out for high-sticking people and swooping their teeth off the ice. But he was out there with your tooth on his necklace. That's the kind of guy he was. He was also a really incredible poet, among other things, and I had the privilege to read his award-winning longer poem in 7 parts called Destination for Margaret. I have to say that when I first heard him read this poem, I was a bit taken aback. A little, poet crush started happening because it's just such delicious work. Destination for Margaret. 1. For the way you will go, I bring no ritual mass goodbye, painted with Polaroid scars. No fire dance necklace of rotten trophy teeth. No.
Next up, we're going to give a warm welcome to Eric Fischman, who will be portraying Anselm Hollo. Eric Fischman is also one of our teachers. Many of the people stepping up on the stage might be a teacher, and many of these people stepping up on the stage might become a teacher.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anselm. I was born in 1934 in Helsinki, Finland, and lived in England for many years and worked for the BBC. I've been dead 10 years, so forgive my accent if I don't look and sound like you remember me. That is what happens with corporeality. I came to the United States in 1967. I taught at many universities and lived in many states. I taught at the State University of New York at Buffalo, and I also taught at Iowa University, also called the University of Iowa, and came in the 80s to Boulder to teach at the Naropa Institute and later Naropa University. I published over 40 books of poetry and translation in my life. My collected works just came out this past summer, and there will be a collected translations coming soon. Among my many awards were a National Endowment for the Arts grant from the very generous United States government, and also the Gertrude Stein Innovative Excellence Award in Poetry. And I passed away in 2013 and taught until my last year. Response to Colorado Daily's poll question, what is the meaning of life? Life is a leaf stuck to her nose. Very briefly, just a moment. Love is all you need. It was one of those days. Everything went wrong, and then to top it off, my wife came home complaining of a rough day. I had just burned the potatoes, and all I needed was for her to ask how I could do something so stupid. As so often happens, we were quickly in the midst of an all-out argument. But one glance at our 6 children watching was enough to bring me back to my senses. I stopped suddenly and said instead, "Oh, forget it, and put your arms around me. Can't you see that I'm just tired and need a little love?" It's hard to be in a bad mood when everyone is hugging and kissing you. I can't think of a nicer way to spend the evening. Lines for Ted and Ars Poetica. Section 5. There is a standard above which you want your poems to be. If you do 500 above that standard, and they're all very similar, that might not be having done such a great thing. But what I think what happens when a poem works is that it rises into the air of its own powers, and in doing so has formed a circle, and it becomes something like the sun, or a star, or a planet, or whatever. I like the idea of it being up in the air. To have no idea is a good idea if it helps you to make a poem. I have to go now. I have to go and think about this for 1,000 years. Do art, eat well, never please wicked money. Always treat language like a dangerous toy.
Now next up, we are going to give a warm welcome to Rob Geisen, who will be portraying Jack Collom.
It's impossible for me to think about poetry this time without thinking about Jack Collom. I came out here in '97, immediately jumped into the poetry scene, and it didn't take very long before I came across that guy's path. And Jack loved words, loved talking about words with people, he loved birds, and he loved yodeling. Can you yodel on a saxophone? And one of the first things I immediately loved about the guy, he wrote every day. So I don't know how many books he actually has out. It just seems, if you count the chapbooks and stuff, it's a mountain of stuff. But compared to what he was actually writing, I was lucky enough, one day I was over at his place, and he started talking about the backlogs, and he has a room with boxes of all the stuff, and he showed me the boxes. And I spent like 5 hours going through these boxes, and he let me take a bunch of stuff home and photocopy it, and it's just brilliant. So this is called Arguing with Something Plato Said for Phil Garrison. Summer was a-comin' in still, cool and still. Facts and symbols be dancing and babbling, turning babble to a soapy bubble, up and away until pop goes the wizard. Oh, come on. The alchemy that pilfers from golden Sundance volumes of German silver sucks tongue of essence. Ah, yes, essence. But this can do incandescence, like lightning.
I'm Maggie, and I will be portraying Jack Collom. Hit it. Somebody's pushing pins into my giant singing poem, my everything syndrome. Why not take all of me? Why not take all of me? It is possible to lose my coherence, though I am billions of breathing comments. It is possible to lose my coherence, though I am the last crumb of terra firma crust. And we are birds of passage. Birds of passage. Now, this poem of Jack Collom's does not have a title. It's funny, for all of the work that he did, I was looking in this database, and I searched Jack Collom, and there's surprisingly not that much. But if you ask certain people here, they have boxes upon boxes, shelves upon shelves of material from Jack Collom, be it his books, be it pieces that they wrote with him. Jack was always encouraging people to write poems together. And we're going to pass around some poems here. And you're going to write down the first word that comes to mind. On that topic.
You out there! You may always choose your attitude. It's yours to choose. To love, to live, to love. To give the gift of love. A gift that only you, yes. A gift that only you may